my name's Red.
My name is Brian, and today you have joined us on the first episode. Today we have a special guest with us. He is a pastor. He is a dad. He's a dad boss. He is a successful person. He's a ninja. He is Jimmy Tsai.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, we're so excited too. We really just want to say thanks for taking time out of your schedule to be here with us.
Yes, I love it.
So yeah, I think we got some questions lined up. I'm really excited for the conversation,
so.
and really curious to see how this is gonna turn out.
Yes, let's do it.
So first question. It's a very serious question. I hope you're ready.
All right.
We need to know your best pro tip, your best dad tip, or a fashion tip. We need to know.
Best life hack.
Best life hack.
All right.
What do you got?
Okay, I'll go fashion.
Okay,
I love fashion.
Okay, us too.
I always look at other people's fashion.
All
so
right.
I'll give you a fashion tip.
Okay.
All right, this is the only fashion tip you need to know. Just wear it and rock it. That's how you're in style.
I like it.
That's all you need to know. Wear it, rock it. That's all you gotta
Okay.
do. If you're not sure if it's in style or not, just rock it like
Own
it's
it.
in style.
Own it.
And then it's in style.
Yeah, just own it. I mean, who's
That's
gonna
right.
question you?
That's right. That's right. When you walk out confidently,
Yeah.
everybody's gonna be like, "Man,
I like it.
that's in style.
Dang.
That's in style."
Come out wearing a polo and some coveralls.
Polos and coveralls.
If you
Trench
come out owning it.
That's all that matters. All right.
That's all that matters.
That's the pro tip for fashion.
Yes, fashion.
Own it.
Own it. Own it.
If you buy it, you wear it, it's
That's
yours.
right. Own
Make
it.
it yours.
Own it.
Confidence is
That's
key,
right.
huh?
That's right.
Second question would be just a little bit about you. What do you do?
Yeah.
Your story. How do you get to where you're at now, as far as career-wise, family? Just kind of give people watching who may not know you a little bit of a backstory in the life of Jimmy Tsai.
All right. Let's see. Let's try to give a snapshot view of kind of how I am where I am. I guess I'll start backwards or forward. Backwards or forward.
Forward.
I'll start somewhere.
Yeah.
I'll start one of the ways. Currently, I am the campus pastor, one of the campus pastors for one church. I'm the campus pastor for the Caddo Mils location. Me and my wife actually share that role.
Yeah.
So I have a beautiful family,
Yeah.
three daughters, a beautiful wife, and then how I kind of came about my role, really fairly simple. A lot of people often ask, "Hey, how become a pastor?" They're expecting a really complicated way or like a trick.
Yeah.
But really fairly simple. I love God. I love the local church. I love my pastors. So I just stuck to all three, and then the rest worked out.
Just played out.
Yeah, I stayed close to God. Stayed close to the local church, and stayed close to my pastors, and so that's how I ended up where I am.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's awesome. Which you mentioned, it wasn't a big, crazy epiphany moment, but could you kind of tell us, like, when was that distinct moment you felt that you were called to be a pastor?
Okay. This is a fun question too. This one I get asked a lot
sure.
as well. I really don't have a like a distinct moment that I believe God called me to be a pastor. I know distinctly that He called me to serve His church.
Yeah.
I know He called me to serve who my lead pastors are.
Yeah.
But as far as distinctly Him calling me to be a pastor, we can't really say there was a defining moment. But I know He called me specifically to serve the local church, specifically serve my lead pastors, and really the role as pastor really I think God opened that door. I don't think I was so-called called to be a pastor, but just called to serve the church and serve my pastors.
Yeah.
And this my role came about from there.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
I love
awesome. So about your family. So you said you're married. You have a wife and 3 kids. How did you and your wife meet?
We met at the gym. We met at the gym, yeah. So if you want to meet a nice lady, go to the gym.
Is that life hack number 403?
Yes.
I like it.
Life hack number 403. Meet nice people, go to the gym.
Okay. I like it. So the whole reason we even started keeping it simple was, to really equip young leaders or even people that have been at it for a while with simple and practical ways to achieve their dreams and be successful. And I feel like we're sitting with someone that lives such a practical life, and we just were kind of wondering, kind of pick your brain a little bit of what are some of the practices, the steps, maybe even just the daily routines and habits that you've placed in your life that have gotten you where you are today.
Let's see. I think one of the things is just showing up.
Yeah.
It sounds very simple, but just showing up. I think that's really hard for some people.
For sure.
And it's hard for people because honestly, if you think about all the people that joined the gym in January, but they quit in February.
Yeah.
They can't master the first step.
Dang.
Just to show up.
Yeah.
I've launched several businesses. I failed in several businesses, but regardless if it succeeded or failed, I showed up. And that was always the first step. So if I'm launching something, I'm gonna keep showing up until I master the craft or master how to whatever area I'm doing. I just keep showing up. So I really think that's the key to it. Is just keep showing up, because the more you show up, you're gonna get better.
Yeah.
For sure.
You're going to get better. Every day you show up, you're better than yesterday. So I think it's when you quit showing up is really what hinders young leaders. Or leaders in general. Don't have to be young leaders, but leaders in general. When you quit showing up, I believe that's what really hinders success.
Yeah, I can see that full picture. I mean, even kind of what y'all were talking about, and even how you mentioned you met your wife at the gym. I even go back to like thinking about working out. It's kind of like the same thing. You go and you don't see progress necessarily overnight. But you go for a long exterior period of time, and you start to see little progress. And it's crazy because like I think there's probably been like a few weeks that I've taken off. And I feel like you lose so much quicker than you do if you stay with it. So you really got to be on top of it and like show up. I love that. I love that.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, simple.
Yeah.
But
It's super simple.
Powerful.
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
super simple.
Powerful.
And I really feel like, you display that. I've seen it, and I look up to you as a spiritual leader, and just being able to see your life and how you've always you've shown up, you remained consistent, you've been available, and I love that. Like you and even our senior pastors always mention about being available, and I love that, and it's just amazing to see it in. It really inspires people like us that really look up to you guys.
Well, real quick, I just want to hit on, you said you talk about like young leaders.
For sure.
I feel like just knowing you personally, like I feel like that is an area that you've seen God kind of just move you towards or gravitate towards young people, helping raise up the next generation, help discipling. And we had a conversation a little bit ago about discipleship and what that looks like. And I think it would be cool just to have other people experience just kind of how you view discipleship versus how I think like church as a whole, as one church, like not as like one church as our church, but like one body, one like national church. Like, there's kind of been this notion on discipleship, and I really like your perspective on it. So if you just want to share a little bit about that.
For sure.
Yeah, I truly believe discipleship is simply allowing others to follow you.
Yeah.
So I believe a disciple is someone living it out and allowing other people to follow you as you live it out.
Yeah.
So I truly believe that's how I'm called a disciple, is just gathering people close to me.
Yeah.
Allowing them to watch me live it out and just really just impart that on them. I believe sometimes we get overcomplicate discipleship. We want to feel like we gotta give someone the proper study or the proper tools or the proper message. But I believe true discipleship is just living it out. It's living it out and really showing other people how to live it out. So that's kind of what I feel, me and my wife, we feel called to. Just gather people, allow them to be close to us. And just model it out for people. So that's kind of my take on discipleship.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I think whenever I heard that the first time, like it just struck a chord, because I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like our generation, we've always like heard people talk about discipleship, but to see it like played out in actual day-to-day life isn't something I feel like happens very often. And so I feel like there gets like this notion of discipleship being like more than just day-to-day doing life with people. You know, like like you're saying, like it has to be a lesson, or discipleship you think of like a Bible study. Like I feel like most people, like when they think of discipleship, they're like, okay, I gotta have a small group, I gotta have people over, we gotta study the Bible. It's like they don't take it down to the simple levels of just doing life with each other. And so I really love that.
And that's what I think real discipleship is. Allowing, bringing people close, allowing them to see how we parent, allowing them to see how we steward our finances,
For sure.
Allowing them to, just to see how we, treat each other in our marriages.
So
I believe that's good. That's more impactful. Nobody's gonna remember any book I put in their hand. Exactly. Or no one's gonna remember a podcast I shared with them, or no one's gonna even remember any personal message I preached. No one's gonna ever remember that, but what they will remember is the life I lived.
Exactly.
And the life I demonstrated for them.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I think something I'd like to, have our listeners and our viewers hear a little bit about and watch is just some things that you can see. Like, I feel like people put such a, how would I put this? Like, they have such a, when it comes to leadership, I feel like people think of other people. Like, they never view themselves as being leaders. People married, leaders in their household, leaders of their finances, leaders of themselves even. Like, they always look to somebody else, or they always put it in an obtainable box up on the shelf where they can't even get to it. And so I think just going through and really breaking down what leadership means in God's eyes, what leadership looks like in your life, like how would you define it? And then we can kind of transition in maybe some like easy, practical, simple steps that people can take to become leaders in their own life.
Okay. Oh, we're fine.
Yeah.
Cut 2 seconds. Here we go. All right. I think I love that question you just asked, because I think it's just one simple thing that people have to grasp. In order to view themselves as leaders. And I believe that's simply ownership.
For sure.
Because leaders take ownership. And that's one of the qualities that all leaders do. They take ownership of the things that are in their control. So as for people to start viewing themselves as leaders, they have to take ownership. So for them to be leaders in their family, there's got to be a point where they just take ownership. Okay, this is my family.
Gotcha.
I'm taking ownership of the direction, of the vision of this family. Even in the workplace, people don't see themselves as leaders because they don't want to take ownership of what's happening in the workplace.
Gotcha.
But for someone to step up as a leader, simply that's all that's happening is saying, I'm taking ownership of what's happening in my office, what's happening on my team, what's happening in my organization. I'm taking ownership. And simply I believe that's the key to leadership, is there's got to be a switch that goes from just being a part of it to taking ownership of what's happening. So I believe that's just taking ownership. I believe as people start taking ownership, that natural leadership happens, because leaders take ownership of the outcome.
And I like how you say take ownership. And I feel like a lot of people, when they think about, like you said, leaders and not looking themselves as leaders, it's almost like they might feel available, but they don't feel that their abilities are there yet, or they might be afraid. What would you say to someone that might be watching that is like afraid to step up into a leadership role?
Like step on toes. Like I know that's something I've even came across is I think when you have leadership qualities and tendencies inside of you, I think you're almost more aware of stepping on other people's toes. And I think that's maybe where some people struggle.
And actually I just had this conversation with a young leader not that long ago on just overstepping or giving an opinion when it's not asked for or at a wrong time. And I think this just goes back to taking ownership of what's in your control. So going back to my previous point, taking ownership, but then what's in your control?
Yeah.
So I think for young leaders, just look at what you're responsible for, or what's in your hand, if you want to use that term. What's in your hand? What are you responsible for? And take ownership of that. Because as you begin to take ownership of that, I believe more responsibilities come your way. But if you don't start with what's in your control, or what you can, or what's in your hand, if you never take ownership of that, nothing more is going to come your way. So for this big idea of leadership to ever happen, if you don't start there, it's never going to happen.
Sure.
So even this young leader, I just said, hey, those opportunities are going to come. You just keep making sure you're doing, taking ownership of what you're in charge of. And then more responsible or more leadership opportunities are going to come your way. But first, for the young leaders, no matter what position it is, if it's a introductory position or if it's a mid-level position, just take ownership of that.
For sure.
Take ownership of that first, and steward that well, and then the opportunities will come.
Be available.
Be available.
I love that.
And also, I think it's John Maxwell that says, before you can lead others, you have to lead yourself. And I feel like a lot of times some young leaders or some people that are in a leadership position lose the idea of having to feed themselves and having to stay fed in order to pour out. So maybe you could just kind of touch on some ways that you remain fed as you lead and pour out to others.
I think it goes back to just me showing up. I think just that concept in every area.
For sure.
So I care about my physical, my health. So I had that discipline down. I go to the gym. I try to watch what I eat. But then even the input, what you asked about, I wake up every morning and read. I read something spiritual, and then I try to read something leadership as well.
That's great.
But just that discipline, just show up. I show up every morning. I have a meeting with myself every morning.
That's awesome. I love that.
I show up to that meeting. So that's how I make sure I'm fed, is just showing up every day. So every day if I read, well, I know more than the day before.
For sure.
I know more than the day before. So just that little act, just showing up every day. And even if it's showing up for 10 minutes a day, that's still 10 more minutes than you had previous.
That's great.
That's awesome. If you could go back to teenager, young adult Jimmy Tsai, what are some either advice, some life hacks, just something? What would you go back and what would you say? What is something that you wish you could go back and just either touch on or show, or something that you would give a younger you advice on in the realm of leadership?
The realm of leadership, honestly, I wouldn't change anything. I made a lot of mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes, tons of mistakes. But honestly, I wouldn't change anything, because all those mistakes and all those wrong turns really helped shape who I am.
That's awesome.
I wouldn't have a lot of knowledge of how to do things if I didn't do things the wrong way. But I think that really has helped me in my leadership.
For sure.
Because I've done a lot of wrong mistakes and done things the wrong way, that it's helped me to lead well. Because now as a leader and in my position, I'm not having to figure out those mistakes. I've learned them early on when the spotlight wasn't on me. So I really wouldn't change anything. Even though I made a lot of mistakes, I embrace those mistakes.
For sure.
I do embrace them. They help shape who I am, help my experience.
As far as mistakes go, I feel like a lot of youth and a lot of young adults, I mean, even adults in general, and as humans, I feel like we're very hard on ourselves when we make mistakes. And so I just want to I love listening to you talk about making mistakes and how you wouldn't be the person that you are today if you didn't make the mistakes. And that's kind of like a process that you learn through. If you could just touch on that as far as just kind of taking the weight off of mistakes that people make, and just kind of help them I think like people are just just hard on themselves in general.
For sure.
And so just some kind of like, if you just can speak on that for a moment and just kind of break that down for somebody who may be going through that.
And I think the one thing that you have to realize is I don't believe there is a wasted season. So
That's
if you
good.
grasp that concept, even if it was a season full of mistakes, it wasn't wasted.
Yeah.
I don't believe in any wasted season, because I believe even if it's a season of mistakes and heartache and pain, I believe God can still use that season.
Yeah.
So no season is ever wasted. So I think just grasping that concept is gonna take the weight off, because even if it is a season that you made a lot of mistakes, you had some setbacks, just knowing, okay, God's gonna use this in the future, and even and really, and I hear this a lot often in young leaders that they know what they want to do, but they get just so discouraged that their current position or their current job is something that they feel is meaningless. But even too, I would take the pressure off. With the current season isn't meaningless. There is no wasted season. So the skills. The skills that they're learning now and the different experiences they're learning now, it's not wasted. It's not wasted. It's all going to get used in the future.
For sure.
That's great.
Or it's going to help shape them for the future.
Like God's going to put you through certain things, because there's like what you're saying, like in one season there may be something that you need to learn. Like there may be an attribute that you need to
Absolutely.
I kind of put like a puzzle, you know what I mean? Like you got to go through a certain season to pick up this piece to put it in here. And if you didn't go through that, then you never would have picked up that puzzle piece. And at the end of it, like you wouldn't be who you are if it wasn't. That's awesome. I love
because
that.
every job you work, I believe you pick something up. So there is no wasted season. So every job you work, for the ones that are going to school, every level of education, you pick something up. So there's no wasted season. You pick something up every season or every opportunity.
I love that.
But it's the willingness to pick something up too. So I think it's grabbing that mindset that there is no wasted season. So in your current season, having the willingness to say, okay, I need to pick something up in this season. There's a skill I'm needing to learn. There's experience I need to learn, or so just knowing it's not wasted.
So Jimmy, I think everybody here, first off, if you're not following Jimmy Tsai
Seriously.
on Facebook or Instagram, I highly recommend
You're missing
it.
out.
Seriously. This guy. Okay, so he's got like a season going. What is it? Dad Boss? Yeah, like this little series that you're doing on your stories. Hold on, just elaborate for everyone who doesn't know what that is, and kind of just touch on that. And then I just want to kind of hear like what your next post is going to be, because I'm low key kind of interested.
So I started this. My stories on Instagram and my Facebook, really just Dad Boss, just giving men out there some useless tips. I call them useless. I feel like, so don't follow them. You feel like you're gonna get in trouble with your wife if you follow these tips. But just some just some funny tips, and even I go on there and put pro tips. Where I give useless gym hacks. I recommend you not follow my gym hacks.
That's great.
But I just started this maybe a couple weeks back. Really just wanted to brighten everybody's day. And really just get a glimpse of just my thought process throughout my days and throughout my week. And really just give everybody just a
That's
little,
awesome.
I like it.
Sorry, do you plan it out, or is it just like spur of the moment?
No, it's definitely spur of the moment. So I don't think. I don't think prior. But I just
That's
gotta
awesome.
capture my day.
Whatever your creative juices just
so
put out.
if I'm at the gym, or if I'm
That's
with
awesome.
my girls, or at my girl's school, whatever nonsense is in my
great.
head.
You just let it
I feel
out.
like I should document it.
Great. It's
I
hilarious.
should live it out and document the nonsense in my head.
That's awesome.
It's hilarious. Maybe you could give the people at home like one more final tip, dad boss tip, life hack, maybe a gym hack. Since we're about to go to the gym maybe after this.
I don't know. I got to be at the gym. So it's the nonsense that happens in the moment.
Okay,
I can't pre-plan this. I can't pre-plan my nonsense.
Fair enough. Well, that lets you know at home. Follow Jimmy Tsai if you want to know what's next.
Yeah.
It will definitely brighten your day. But with all that said, I think we're going to wrap up today's episode. But if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button.
Yeah.
What do we do with the like button?
Smash it.
We smash it. Smash the like button. And also, feel free to comment. Who do you want to hear from next? I mean, it could be anybody in any realm, from fitness to a pastor to Kanye West. I know that's what the kids love these days, right? But anyways, with all that said, we just thank you so much for tuning in today, and thank you so much, Pastor Jimmy, for coming out and
For sure. Appreciate
sharing
your time.
yourself and just helping us grow and helping the people at home grow. But with that said, it's Keeping It Simple is the name of the podcast. This has been Keeping It Simple. My name's Red.
Brian.
We'll see you next time.